Hi, Daryl DeClerc from East Hill Community Church in beautiful Vernon, BC. I'm in an orchard at the north end of Swan Lake at the corner of Highway 97 and Old Kamloops Road. And hope it's okay that we're here. I suppose if we get interrupted, we'll have to run? I don't know. Anyway, we're here to enjoy some fruit here. As you can see from this tree, there is some fruit growing. And it's wonderful to know that the apples and the cherries are on the way. And I'm looking forward to enjoying some great local fresh cherries and all the fruit that we've got here in the Okanagan. Jesus also enjoyed fresh local fruit, but sometimes the trees didn't exactly produce what they were supposed to. Sometimes, and I picture Jesus right in and beside some of these trees when he told this parable, but sometimes, trees that did not produce fruit were a disappointment to the farmers, obviously to the people around them, and we can see that sometimes the same thing happens here. So one day, and Jesus told a parable, and I picture him standing right beside these trees where this happened. In Luke 13, he said, there was a man who had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he went to look for fruit on it, but didn't find any. And so he said to the one who took care of the vineyard, "For years now, I've been coming to look for fruit on this fig tree, and I haven't found any. Cut it down. Why should it use up the soil?" "Sir," the man replied, "leave it alone for 1 more year, and I'll dig around it and fertilize it. If it bears fruit next year, fine. If not, then cut it down." And just before that story, people were asking Jesus about a man-made disaster that had killed some people. A tower in Siloam had collapsed, and 18 had died. And people asked Jesus, was it something that these people did that caused that disaster to happen to them? Were they not bearing fruit? And Jesus says, no. But occasions like that are always reminders that our time is limited, and that we've only got so much time here on earth to do as much good as we can. And then Jesus tells the story of the fruit trees. And I find it amazing how gracious God is. In the parable, Jesus looks at a tree, or a person, you could say, who has not been doing much good. And he agrees that the best way forward is not to cut them down, but to come alongside such a person with grace and nurture. A season of grace is really the best foot forward. I mean, how encouraging is that for each of us? I don't know, maybe like me, you've been putting off a phone call for a while, or you've been avoiding ways of blessing other people. Maybe you've been running from a calling that God has on your life. A season of grace is here for you from God. After all, that's our purpose, to bless others. We have been blessed to bless others, and there's only so much time to do it. Jesus says it's our privilege, and there's a warning here too along with that even after nurture and fertilizing, if there is still no fruit, then what comes next? There is always forgiveness from Jesus, thankfully. But will we die with regrets? Is that what our life will come to? Knowing that we didn't bear fruit when we could? And so looking at an orchard like this reminds me that we've got to keep growing that fruit for God, and to bless each other, to bless the world. And that's how we can encourage and nurture each other. Hey!